The New York Knicks may have a hidden gem in Jericho Sims, who's poised for a breakout season and will be starting game 1 of the regular season, according to an insider. We're going to break this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video because the New York Knicks obviously have center issues, and a man who's been on the roster for a while may just be the hidden gem to fix all of these problems in none other than Jericho Sims. Now, guys, I've been vocal on Jericho Sims in the past. I've had mixed reviews on the man, but there's a lot of reasons to believe this is going to be by far the best season of Jericho's young career, and that he could break out and solve all the Knicks center problems until Mitchell Robinson gets back, and also, in the process, solve the question of who is the Knicks backup center going forwards now that Hartenstein is on the Thunder. Let's jump into it, guys. Now, first things first, when looking at Jericho Sims, it's important to note he did not really play last season, and his numbers showed it. In 45 games appeared in with 11 starts, Jericho put up 2 points per game and 3 rebounds, but did shoot 69% from the field. Nice. He had a defensive box plus minus of 0.7, so despite the limited minutes, he did show that he was valuable on the defensive end. As he's very good, he could switch on to guards well. He's very good at guarding the perimeter for a 6'10" backup center. Most backups are not known for that, especially at the center position. And Jericho Sims does that incredibly well. He could switch off well, guard someone smaller than him. He has the ability to guard multiple decisions. He's kind of like a discount version of Bam Adebayo in that sense. And Jericho's shown that he's just got a lot of defensive versatility. He's very mobile. He's very athletic, and that helps for this situation. And looking at Sims, looking at what's happened throughout his career, yeah, he looked like he was going to be the Knicks' backup center after his rookie year. The Knicks went out, signed Isaiah Hartenstein. Hartenstein broke out basically instantly, or, well, not instantly, but after a few months he broke out. And it felt like Jericho Sims' time as a New York Knicks backup center was over, at least as long as Hartenstein and Robinson were healthy. Now, obviously, Robinson has dealt with his injuries, and Sims has played then, and then Precious Achiuwa came in, and the Knicks liked Precious more than they liked Jericho, so we saw Jericho Sims spend a good amount of time not really playing basketball. So now Jericho's going to come into a role where he very likely will be he'll be a very important part of this team for the first 3 months of the season while the Knicks try to mend this time with an injured Mitchell Robinson. And Jericho is going to play better than what people are thinking. I'll be honest, I think Jericho Sims is going to break out this season on the New York Knicks. He's going to have the best season of his career. Now, it's important to note, this is the first season that Jericho Sims has been healthy over an off season in his NBA career. Now, I've talked about this in the past, don't get me wrong, but as Stefan Bondy mentioned a few months ago, Sims is expected to compete for an important backup spot behind Robinson. This was before Robinson was out for a few months going into this season, but Sims rehabbed the past 2 off seasons from surgeries and was limited to his preparation for those respective seasons. A year ago, he tore the labrum and cuff tendon in his shooting shoulder, requiring a procedure that took his rehab right through the summer. And 2 years ago, he underwent a surgery to repair a torn ulnar collateral ligament in his thumb. So essentially, looking at Jericho Sims, he's never been healthy over an off season. He's never gotten that chance to truly improve into a player that he could potentially become, who would be a very, very dangerous player on the New York Knicks. Now, they also have brought in Mark Bryant, and Mark Bryant, as mentioned, Sims is taking steps to earn Tom Thibodeau's trust for another NBA contract, and he's been at the training facility in Westchester under the tutelage of assistant coach Mark Bryant, who specializes in developing front court talent. Now, Jalen Duren gives a lot of credit to Mark Bryant on his development, and Jericho Sims is going to have to develop. It's now for Jericho. If you want to stay in the NBA, your time is now to show up and show out what you've learned over this offseason. Sims being healthy for the first time, getting in the gym with a guy like Mark Bryant, who's very prestigious for helping front courts get better. Under Thibodeau also, who's great at developing big men. Othella Harrington's there. He's great at developing big men, as we've seen. The Knicks are great at this. They're a phenomenal developmental team, which is very strange when you're one of the contenders for the NBA Finals. But that's what's happening right now. We're looking at a New York Knicks team that's ready to compete, but also has a very good developmental training or developmental coaching staff. The trainers are great for this. Like, looking at this team, they have a lot going for them for the young guys. We've seen it with Deuce McBride. We saw Emmanuel quickly come in and be great, and we saw him become even better. We've seen Jalen Brunson take a leap into the stratosphere. We've seen Isaiah Hartenstein get better. We've seen Mitchell Robinson become a 5-tool defender. We have seen a jump from basically every player since the new coaching regime took over. Almost no one on the roster was better beforehand than they were after joining the Knicks. I mean, Dante DiVincenzo had his best season in the NBA on the Knicks. Josh Hart had his best season in the NBA on the Knicks. Brunson had his best season. Julius has certainly had his best season, despite the fact that, well, Thibodeau was there, actually. Julius's best seasons have all been under Tibbs. Julius, a 3-time All-Star, all 3 of those times under Tom Thibodeau. The Knicks are better under this coaching regime, and now it's Jericho Sims' turn to show what this coaching staff can do, but it goes farther than Sims. When you look at Jericho Sims in his few starts that he's made over these 32 games, he's put up 6 points and 5 rebounds and 1 assist. That is fine for a backup center going into a starting role for a few nights when your lead center is injured. Unfortunately, Mitchell Robinson's injured a lot, so Sims, who has to get better, he's training hard, and as Ian Begley mentioned, he does not think the Knicks were shocked that that Mitchell Robinson was out for this extended period of time into December. What does that mean, guys? It means the Knicks knew they were going to have to rely on Jericho Sims, and they were comfortable with it, despite the fact that, as Fred Katz had reported a few months ago, miss you, Fred, he's not dead. He just got promoted. It's a good thing. Congrats, Fred. Looking at this team and looking at what the Knicks have seen, they're comfortable with Jericho Sims, despite Fred Katz reporting that the Knicks only see him as a situational backup, which is just fancy words for a third stringer. So, look, clearly the Knicks trust Jericho Sims. Clearly the Knicks trust the work that Jericho Sims is putting in. Hiring Mark Bryant definitely had something to do with Jericho Sims and them wanting Sims to break out, or wanting Precious to break out, and wanting Mitch to get better at basketball. All of these things came into mind when the Knicks hired Mark Bryant. And looking at how Jericho Sims has been grinding, he's working with Mike Bibby. He was working with Mike Bibby over the summer, working on his jump shot. Now, I understand people shooting jump shots in training means absolutely nothing. They're NBA players. They know how to hit jump shots. No doubt about it. We see it with Ben Simmons. We saw it with Mitchell Robinson in the past. Obviously, it doesn't mean anything, but we are seeing that Jericho Sims is working to become a more versatile player as someone who's already a versatile defender. If that offense just gets marginally solid to where you're grabbing offensive rebounds, you're able to kick the ball out, you're able to put the ball up, go through contact, score, you're able to hit your free throws at a modest rate, that will lead to Jericho Sims getting more minutes and having the breakout season that could really help the Knicks. He truly is a massive key to the New York Knicks having a successful run. It makes it less imperative to trade for a backup center in the process, and the Knicks just become more flexible with the trades they'll be able to make using that Precious Achiuwa contract this season. I love this. I think Jericho Sims is absolutely a hidden gem for the New York Knicks. Let me know what you think below. Like this, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. Go Knicks.